Hi, my name is George Coles, and I am an avid retro video game collector.
Do a barrel roll!
I have decided to document my journeys as I grow my collection. Please join me as I share with you my finds. Welcome to Retro Game Treasure Hunting. Hi everybody and welcome to Retro Game Treasure Hunting. My name is George Coles, and on this episode we're going to go through my last 10 pickups. You guys seem to like it better when I do them quick reviews instead of a little more longer drawn out, so I kind of trying to let them build up a little bit so I could do it that way for you. Now, the first four I'm going to show you, I'm going to preface with this. I bought these four not knowing what they were, and here's what happened. I was at my local retro game store, Flash Comics Games and More, which is in the Sebring, Florida Mall. Check them out. Check them out on Facebook. Check them out online. Go to their Facebook page because he will ship. Anyway, I digress. So the owner of the store, John, who's a friend of mine, he has a ton of sports games that he gets in because he'll buy a collection, and obviously people have sports games in their collections. I do, you do, most of us do. So he has a build-up of sports games that are taking up shelf size. So I said to him, I said, you know what, we're always trying to think. He always asks me for my opinion on stuff he could do better and stuff he could do with the store. While I was there and I was talking to him, I said, you know what, he has the sports games for Nintendo 64 sideways, so you don't see what their label is. I said, how about this, John? I said, you pick two games, I pick two games without looking at them, and whatever it is, I'll give you $10 for all four. He agreed with it, so these first four are from that list. First up, Blades of Steel 99. Now, some of these I'm actually not going to do a rating on because I've never played them. I've never played Blades of Steel 99. I don't know if it's a great game or not. It could be. I'm going to. I just, at the moment, I didn't have my Nintendo 64 set up. I have, space issues, which, of course, a lot of us retro gamers go through. So I'm going to give it a try. See how great it is. See how good it is. See what I got for its value. Now, my next game is, and this is kind of cool. I know you're seeing a lot of stickers on that, but I'll show you here. NBA Showtime NBA on NBC. This is kind of the successor to NBA Jam. Wasn't as good as NBA Jam, but it was still a fun game. And these stickers that you're seeing are that it used to be a rental from Hollywood Video, which I don't think there's any Hollywood Video left. I think it's gone the way of Blockbuster Video. Looks like this one was from 17200 Main Street in the 760 area code, which actually, while I'm doing this, let me look that up, see what area code that is real quick. You would think I call different area codes all day in my work. You would think I would know them right off the bat, but I don't. 760 is the San Diego area code. Shout out to my people in San Diego that are watching. I'm sorry I didn't know that right off the bat. I should have. I like I said, at work I call a lot of people in San Diego, so I should have known that. That's kind of weird that I didn't. Alright, anyway, back to what I was saying. So, that's pretty cool. Comes from a Hollywood Video out of San Diego initially, and it made its way all the way to Central Florida. Really cool. Next up on this list, and I'm going to take pictures of these so you can see these. This one's from a Blockbuster Video. It's all written on. I've got a lot of video games. I know a guy that used to be the manager at Blockbuster, so I got a lot of games off of him that he bought and brought home for his kids. A lot of them are marked much like this, where they have the marker, as you can see here, Sharpie on them. This one's from a Blockbuster video. It doesn't give a phone number or anything or say which Blockbuster. I don't think it's our local one, the local one to here, because they didn't do that kind of labeling, unless that may be something that someone put on after they got it from Blockbuster. But anyway, I think it's kind of neat. I think it's funny that someone drew devil horns on John Madden's head there. And by the way, Showtime, NBA on NBC, I give that a 3 out of 5. 1 being the best, 5 being the worst, or 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. I give that a 3. Madden 99, I remember and I played it. Probably a 2. This was at a time when the Madden games were kind of at a little bit of a lull. There were other football games that were actually better, which we're going to talk about next. It's weird that we came up with 299 footballs. This is NFL Quarterback Club 99, which actually I think back at this time was better than Madden. And this one's another neat one. It's looks like it came from someone's personal collection. That a lot of people did this back in the day. They would put a sticker on there, so if their game got stolen or they lent it out to somebody, they knew whose it was. Looks like Travis Magato, Magato. So Travis, if you're watching this, I got your Quarterback Club game. So I remember this game actually being a lot more fun than the Madden game back in the day. I want to say that this game was a solid 3. It wasn't the greatest football game, but it was a fun playthrough. Now, next up, we're going to get to some weird. You guys know that I like to pick up these weird licensed Nintendo Entertainment System games. And this one of the weirdest. MTV Remote Control, which if you were a kid from the 80s, you remember that as a game show, kind of Jeopardy-like on NTV. There was a pop culture game show kind of thing. And it plays kind of like a Jeopardy game on any system would. It's alright. It's a fun game to play. A lot of the pop culture references are severely dated, obviously from a game that's 35, I want to say 35 years old. Let me see if it has the... It says 85, but I believe all Nintendo games say 85 on them, so... Yeah, so roughly 35-year-old games, so of course the pop culture references are dated. A lot of them I kind of remembered, because I grew up in the 80s, so... wasn't too hard for me, but someone that didn't, it's probably not going to be a fun game. Again, another one of those games that are much like that one. Oh, and I give that a 2 out of 5. I keep forgetting to do my ratings on this one. I don't know why. Next up, another licensed pop culture game that's got the dreaded LJN logo, which I don't think LJN's as bad as it's been played out to be. They made some games that are really fun. The Friday the 13th, what is supposedly their worst offender, I think is actually a good game. And this game I think is actually good as well, The Karate Kid. I really actually enjoy this game. It's not the best game, but for a licensed game, a game that you can pick up cheap, I think it's a really fun game. I give this game a 3 out of 5. Now next up, we have Puss and Boots, Perro's Great Adventure. And this was before the Puss and Boots and Shrek, so kind of an interesting, weird game. It's one that John, the game store's manager, my friend, pointed out to me. He said, "I know you like weird games. Check this out." And then I brought it home, and I didn't play this when I was a kid. I hadn't played it till about a week ago, and it was fun. It's a fun game. It's a neat little weird game for the system. Obviously, kind of a side-scrolling game. A lot of the system's games are. I think it was actually really solid. I'm gonna give this one, surprisingly, I thought it was a 4. It was one of those pleasant surprises. Now, I'm not saying that if you take risks, you're always going to find great games, but sometimes you do. Next up, this is a game I loved when I was a kid. Road Blasters. I really, really loved this game. This was one of the games I spent hours and hours and hours on. And it's a kind of combat racing style game that was familiar and fun at the time. I love these style. It looks like it came out in '89, so it came out late in the system's run. Really fantastic game. I think it's really fun. I give this is probably another 4 out of 5 for me. I think it's still really fun to play. Playing it the other day, just so I could get, do a review on it a little bit. I thought it was really fun and really good to play. Now, next up, Final Fantasy IX. Now, as you guys know, if you've watched a lot of these videos, I'm trying to do a full Final Fantasy run, and this is one of the ones I didn't have as of yet. I don't mind so much the greatest hits. I know a lot of people don't like to have the greatest hits in their collection. I don't care. I don't collect for monetary value. Yes, it's nice that the game's going to be worth something at some point. Obviously, that's cool. I'm not going to sell most of this. Part of the reason why I'm buying it again is because I wish I still had it. So, me selling it again, I don't care. I don't care that it's a greatest hits version. I like the fact that it's in the original casing. That I enjoy. That I really think is cool. This game, there's a big argument about Final Fantasy 7 or 9, which one is the better of the PlayStation 1 games. And a lot of people say Final Fantasy 7. To me, I think 9, for that generation, for that system, is the best Final Fantasy game. This game, obviously, it's a 5 out of 5. Anybody that tells you differently doesn't like role-playing games. Now, next up, we have Shadow the Hedgehog 2. Or Shadow the Hedgehog, I'm sorry. I was looking over at a Sonic the Hedgehog 2 I have over on the side here. But anyway, this is a much maligned game. A lot of people hated this game. A lot of people did not like this. I did. I liked it a lot. I thought it was different enough for the series. It gave an upgrade and a different vibe to it. It's not the best Sonic game. There's just a matter of fact, there's some historically great games. But I think if it's a game that you just listen to other people's opinions on, I don't think that you're gonna get what the game's really about. And I think you should give a lot of the reason I like the game. I have fun with this game. That's why I bought it again. I think it's a game that if you're watching this and you just haven't played it and you're listening to what people tell you about it, don't base judgment until you try it yourself. Because I think you're going to like it. I think if you leave aside your feelings of what Sonic should be and a Sonic game should be, that you would enjoy this. I'm going to give this, it's a solid 4 out of 5 for me. Now that we got through all of that, I debated on whether I wanted to talk about this next thing at all or not. But I want to, just so I could point some things out to people. This is a game called Musha, the classic Japanese tale of horror. Now, I've never played the game. I don't remember it. It's a rather pricey Super Nintendo game. It's a $60 game. I did not pay $60 for it. I didn't pay anything at all for this game. I was given this game for free. And this is exactly why I want to talk about it. When I first had knowledge of this game, my friend John, and please listen to this full story. Please do. Had it in his store and he said, check this out. He shows me, all the cool stuff he gets and all the games that are valuable. Well, in the past year, he's been very successful. His store has grown. He had to move from one spot to another to get a bigger space. his sales have grown, which are great. I like the guy. He runs a really good business. His prices are fair. He treats his employees well. He treats his customers well. He does a lot of cool stuff. He posts a lot of what he has online. He does Funko Pops, which I collect Funko Pops too. He does a thing called Funko Pop Drops where he'll hold off, and on specific days he'll go, okay, we're having a Funko Pop event on a Sunday. It's usually Sundays, and he'll say, come up, check it out. And it's just one of those ways to drum business. He's a pretty good businessman. A younger guy too, a really young kid. I think he's in his early 20s. So out of one of the stores that John bought, he got this game. And the guy told him that it's a repro sticker. Which, okay, I get it. Maybe the sticker was demolished, whatever. So we're looking through, and he had a couple crates in the back where it was stuff he hasn't went through yet to put on the shelf. And he's like, you want to check out those crates, see if there's anything in there you like? I said, sure, let me look at them. Because we're sitting in the back, he has a couple different rooms in the store. And we're sitting in the room where the crates are, and I was looking through, and I find this game, but it's the Famicom version, the Super Famicom version. Which is still, I believe, I want to say a $30 or $40 game, but not quite the $60 equivalent. Why am I mentioning this to you? You need to watch what you're looking for. When I picked up the Famicom game, the game wasn't in there. The board was not in there. So I said, hey, John, did you see this? This is weird. Well, at first I pulled it out and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. You got a Famicom game, because you don't see many of them in Florida. Or a Super Famicom game. And then I noticed the board was missing. I said, John, have you seen this? He said, right away it lit a light bulb on. So he grabbed this, the Super Nintendo version. Now, I'm not going to mention the store, and I don't even remember which of the stores he got it from because they're out of business. And obviously they had bad business practice. And just mentioning this so you know to look in your wild. When you see something that might be too good to be true, like that's an almost perfect sticker. It's coming up a little bit here, and I'm just guessing because he didn't apply the repro sticker good, whoever the original owner was. But I can 100% guarantee you this is what happened. The guy got a trade-in on the Super Famicom game. Realized that he could get $30 more if he makes it the Super Nintendo version. I've checked, it is the Famicom version. When you plug it into a Super Nintendo, everything's in Japanese. So, it's a Super Famicom version. That's a Super Famicom board. And we looked at the board, and we couldn't tell the difference between what the American board and the Japanese board was. I want to bring this up because the guy who owned that store obviously took a lesser game, probably one of the many sports titles, like I just said with here, that were sitting on his shelf, and just took the case from it and made this game double its value. It's a scumbag move. It's dirty. If you're collecting for resale, or if you actually just want the legitimate real version of the game, which if you don't, why are you buying the cartridge instead of getting a fucking ROM? And I'm sorry, I try not to curse because I know kids are going to watch these, being that they're about video games. I try not to curse on these, but I do apologize. It makes me that upset. Now, we know this, and I was sitting at the store, and I talked to John for probably 40 minutes more. Usually when I stop at his store, I'm there anywhere from 30 minutes to 3 hours. Because we talk about a lot of things in gaming, retro gaming, new gaming, games he's got in the store, games he's planning on getting in, Funko Pops he's got in, Funko Pops he's planning to get in, ideas for the store, what I think he could do to be better, what he's planning on doing. And that's not to say a criticism. He honestly, because I'm a good customer. I come there a lot. He wants to know his customers' opinions. I've seen him ask other customers while I've been there. He wants to make it a place where it's very customer friendly. And if I bought this from him and I found out it was fake, I could take that back and get a full refund. He would refund me right there, that moment. Now, the guy that made this fake, and I don't know if you really call it a fake, because it's a real game on a real game board. It's just not a Super Nintendo game. It's a Super Famicom version. So I don't know what you would consider this. It's not what it's advertised as. So I don't know that it's fake, but you see where I'm getting at here. If this accident occurred on something he got traded in, he would have gave me a full refund. Obviously, the guy that ran the store that had this was trying to rip off his customers. And that's in the community. There's retro game stores that do this. John gave me this game for free. He talked about giving it to me for free because he did not want to sell it in his system, in his store. And I respect that. I told him, no, don't give it to me for free. Take the board out, put it back in the Famicom case that you have over there, which is obviously the shell for it, and sell it as a Famicom game. He said, all right. Well, I'm checking out, and as I'm checking out, I'm not fully paying attention to what he's bagging up. He threw it in the bag with a little post-it note saying, here you go, this is for you. So he gave me this game for free, which is really cool. I appreciate the hell out of it. I really, really do. He's a really awesome dude. And I'm going to play this game, and I'm probably going to have a fun time. I don't know of the game, but I watched some gameplay on it, and it looked fun. The real reason I was trying to find a gameplay that translates, and I haven't yet, because I kind of want to get the translation and know what I'm doing. But that being said, the whole point of me going on this long, arduous tale about this game is watch who you're dealing with. Know your store owners. Know if they're decent people. If they're honor anything. Any of these games. If these disc games didn't play right, if I got to disc 3 on this and disc 3 was scratched to hell, I could get a refund or he would find me a new game. If the board was cracked on this and he didn't realize it, he would give me a new game. If this game just, whatever reason, was corroded, same thing, all the way through, I could get a new game from him, which is one of the reasons I almost exclusively deal with John, because I know who I'm dealing with, and I know the kind of person he is, and I know he's an honest man. So, watch out while you're out there looking for games in a long-winded way. Know who you're dealing with. Read people's reviews. Talk to people that shop in the stores that you go to. Talk to friends that you know that frequent these places. Don't just trust that what they're selling is what it should be. And I'm glad we caught this, because he almost put a bad game out into the world. But we caught it, so... And it's not his fault. He didn't do it. He had nothing to do with the fact. Just part of what it is. But anyway, with all that being said, my name is George Coles, and this has been another retro game treasure hunting.